Welcome friends to my YouTube channel. Now one of my students asked me few questions, and in this video I am going to answer those questions. Okay, so the first question he asked me that what are the basic differences between light and sound waves. Okay, this is a very important question. Okay, so let us understand the difference. Now, the first difference is that we all know that sound is a elastic mechanical wave, eh, and light is a electromagnetic wave. This is the first basic difference. Sound is a mechanical elastic wave, whereas light is an electromagnetic wave. The second difference is that we can also say that sound is a longitudinal wave, but light is a transverse wave. Okay, sound is a longitudinal wave and light is a transverse wave. This is the second difference. The third difference is that the velocity of sound is very small. We all know that velocity of sound in air medium is approximately equal to 332 meter per second, while velocity of light is very high. The order is 10 to the power 8. So this is the third difference, that velocity of sound is small, whereas the velocity of light is very high, 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Okay, the another difference is that light can travel through vacuum. Okay, not necessary that material medium requires here, it can travel through vacuum, but in case of a sound wave to travel we require a material medium. Okay, material medium is necessary for the flow of sound wave. Okay, and another difference we can conclude that sound wave is generated due to the vibration of the particles of the medium that execute SHM about their mean position. So in this case, the simple harmonic vibration of the particles of the medium are responsible for the generation of sound wave. Okay, and what is the cause of generation of light wave? That you all know. It generates due to the oscillation of charged particles, because electromagnetic radiation consists of photons or quantas. Okay, so light wave or electromagnetic wave is generated due to the oscillation of charged particles. Okay, these are the few basic differences. That first difference is that sound is a mechanical wave, whereas EM wave is an electromagnetic wave. The second difference is that sound is a longitudinal wave, whereas light is a transverse wave. Third is that the velocity of sound is very small, that is 332 meter per second in air, and velocity of light is very high, 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second in vacuum. Now light can travel through vacuum, not necessary that we require a material or any other medium, but in case of a flow of sound we require a material medium, because the material medium is mandatory for the flow of sound wave. Okay, and the next important thing is that sound waves are generated due to the particles of the medium that executes SHM about their mean position. So this is the generation of sound wave, and light waves are generated due to the oscillation of charged particles. Remember this, charged particles only in this case are allowed, that can cause light waves to generate. Okay, so these are the few basic differences between light and sound wave. Okay, now as I told earlier that light is a transverse wave and sound is a mechanical wave. Okay, that we all know. So if you are asked that what are the basic differences between longitudinal and transverse wave, Okay, that I am also going to tell. You can ask two things. The first thing you can be asked that what are the differences between light and sound wave. Second thing that you can ask in the examinations or interviews, that what are the differences between uh, longitudinal and transverse wave. That I am going to tell. The first thing you can say, what is longitudinal wave? Because you all know that when the particles of the medium execute simple harmonic motion along the direction of propagation of wave, it is called longitudinal wave. Okay, when the oscillation of the particle will take place along the direction of propagation of wave, it is called longitudinal wave. On the other hand, when the oscillation of the particles takes place along a direction perpendicular to the direction of propagation of wave, okay, this is called transverse wave. This is the first difference. The second difference is that longitudinal waves can travel through any medium, that may be solid, liquid and gas, no matter any medium. But transverse wave can travel through only solid medium. Okay, can only solid medium, because longitudinal waves can travel through any medium, but transverse wave can only travel through solid medium. This is the second difference. The third difference is that in case of a longitudinal waves, there is no polarization, but you all know that for transverse wave polarization takes place. That all of you know that for transverse wave polarization takes place, but for longitudinal wave there is no polarization. Okay, why, that we explain later. And another difference you can say that when longitudinal waves travels through the medium, there is a change in pressure. We see that in case of acoustic pressure, uh, the pressure is ahead than the sound wave by 90 degree. That's something. Acoustic pressure we have discussed. So it is due to the travel of longitudinal waves. So whenever longitudinal waves travel through the medium, there is a change in pressure. But when transverse wave travels through the medium, there is no change of pressure. Okay, so these are the basic differences. First of all, longitudinal waves can travel through any medium, but transverse waves can travel through only solid medium. Now the second thing is that for transverse wave polarization takes place, and that does not take place for longitudinal waves. And when longitudinal waves travel through the medium, there is a change in pressure that we saw in case of acoustic pressure, where the pressure is ahead than the sound wave by 90 degree. But in case of a longitudinal waves, transverse waves, there is no change in pressure. Okay, so this is the second thing that a student asked me. Now another and the last question, that he asks that what is supersonic velocity. That is also an important thing. So supersonic velocity is what? So if the velocity of an object is greater than the velocity of sound, then that particular velocity of the object is termed as supersonic velocity. That means in general the velocity of sound in air is 332 meter per second. So if an object has a velocity greater than 332 meter per second, it is termed as supersonic velocity. Okay, that means the velocity of the object must have to exceed the velocity of light. Okay, then that particular velocity is called supersonic velocity. Okay, so this video is to give the answers that I was asked in previous day by a student. Okay, so one thing I also want to tell all of my viewers, that if you face any type of problem, then you can write it in comment section. I will be ready to give the answers. Okay, so if you like my video, then just like it, share it and subscribe. Okay, thank you.